Hey everybody, welcome to Truth Tuesday. Let me turn this on mute so that it doesn't have an echo. Okay, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Welcome everybody to the second half of Truth Tuesday. First half was over on Lisa's channel. If you're watching this later, you can bounce over there and hear what we were talking about. All right. 52 degrees. I was talking to Lee and he I asked him like, hey, there he is. He said that it was going to be like -8. And he's like, oh, I got to walk to the sauna.
Oh, he's in Finland?
Yeah. And I was like, you mean -8 Fahrenheit? He goes, no, Celsius. I was like, jeez.
And it's the sauna. How do they say it?
Sauna.
Tell him kippies next time you see him.
It is 52. It's 22 here. It's cold here, but I'm still using the air conditioner every now and then. It kicks on just if it gets above a certain amount.
It's a whole another kind of cold there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's so much crap to go over today, man.
Jeez. I know.
There's so much. So New York is done. Like I don't believe what had happened there. There's this really big overreach, spying on social media, free speech thing. It's like crazy that everyone's talking about, like stuff that they're trying to do in Ireland. And Lisa, knew about that. And then I told her what law actually passed and they got through, which is, it's mind blowing. Like, I don't understand why we're still not picking a Washington to lead us to fix this shit. Lee, what do you mean you said Crypto Flamingo was cake? There's a lot of topics. Florida, yeah, I did. All right. Oh yeah. So what passed in New York is like what happened with the gingivitis outbreak. Next level. So whatever's coming now, the government, your state government, in New York can go into your house without a warrant, take any member of your family, like they did in some other countries, which they did with kids because they have some of these countries have really broad, child protection laws. So they could take them and then force them to get vaccinated or put them in a, camp. So in New York, though, in the United States, they can take any member of the household without a warrant, come in, take them, put them in quarantine, and then...
So this is all a health issue?
Health issue. And then use any kind of treatment they deem appropriate, even experimental drugs. In other words, those were illegal for you to even try on yourself until Trump did that thing where you could sign a waiver and get experimental drugs if you're terminally ill. So now the government is saying they can use anything on you. Experimental, which means, oh, sorry, you're sterile. Oh, sorry, whatever happened. It was experimental. Nothing you can do. So this actually went through.
Which technically all those Jabberwockies were experimental anyway.
Yeah.
Because they were done under emergency order. So everyone got experimented on anyway.
Where's there we go?
Or everyone that...
Here, a lot of it, this dude is in New York. I'll send you the link. Would you pull it up and share it? And it's at the 1 minute, 10-second mark.
Mm-hmm. Hold on. Now I have to do the sharing of the screen. Okay, tell me when you got me up.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, play.
I've actually retweeted this on my Twitter. If you guys want to check it out, you can. I've left my Twitter details in the description down below this video if you want to check it out. So it says here, happening right now, the New York Appellate Division has ruled in favor of Governor Kathy Hochul in a landmark case for government overreach. Rule 213, isolation and quarantine procedures. Guys, this is pretty serious. This is almost like a rehash of what we've seen like 3 years ago. Anyway, hopefully it doesn't go that far. Isolation and quarantine procedures will give the state of New York the ability to come in your home and take you away to quarantine without any notice for any kind of virus or infection they deem necessary. Now, we've already talked about how these big blue cities, how the big blue states are have been overwhelmingly popular in terms of the number of protests and riots that were taking place, right? Now, this was in response to the aftermath of the Hamas attack on Israel. However, this is a little startling. New York, it says here, and again, if you guys want to read it for yourself, you can check out my Twitter page. There's a link to my Twitter in the description of this video if you want to see it for yourself. But ultimately, it says isolation and quarantine procedures will give the state of New York the ability to come in your home and take you away. They're going to come in your home and take you away to quarantine without any notice and for any virus or infection they deem necessary. So are you telling me they could come in your home and take you away from your family if you got the flu or something? Like, this is wild. Quote, and it goes on to say, you won't have any option to fight it. No court date, nothing. The rule has no age limit, and they can keep you as long as they like. The rule also allows them to treat you as they see fit, including using methods that are still in testing. This is one of the biggest abuses of power this country has ever seen. This is only the beginning. How long until this is nationwide or even global question?
But who's heard about that on the news? Who has heard media that's supposed to be watchdogs? Who has heard anyone talk about that? That it was a thought, that it was an idea, that it was being talked about, that it was being debated. Not the fact that it went through and then went to court and was challenged. Who has been talking about that? No one. I didn't even know about that until I saw this.
Did you go double check it and make sure it's accurate? Other than this guy reading it and saying
No, I didn't. I was just so shocked when I saw it last night.
Okay.
But yeah, you go to his Twitter. It said he's got links to everything.
Oh, he does. Okay.
But that's insane. That's insane. I think it highlights, one, what government wants to do. Two, how inept our media is. That was supposed to be the unofficial, fourth arm of the government. That's supposed to be watching everything. That's supposed to be the protector of the truth. I heard about Trump saying something on Truth Social that he thinks we need to get rid of certain constitutional rights and stuff for these people. It's a post that he supposedly gave. I saw it on someone who hates him that was doing
so
expose.
Probably was not
an
accurate statement.
And that's what people were saying. And he's like, dude, this is from Truth Social. It's a screenshot of his thing. He goes, these people are brainwashed. And that was the first thing. It's like, oh, nah, anybody could fake that. And they're like, no, it's his post on Truth Social. It's right here. It is. It's his post. You can go to his Truth Social. Well, here it is. But the instant thing was, I don't believe it. When we have to be critical thinkers when it comes to stuff we don't like. That's the whole thing, or it doesn't work. It's just, then we're just falling into the us versus them, and we're playing right along and doing our part in their what they want us to do. This guy also is talking about the what people have heard about is that they want to spy on people on social media. That they want to in New York, they want to be able to stop hate speech against Israel or blah blah blah. Um, and it's getting so like the basic comment that people are making is why are we so concerned with Ukraine's borders and Israel's borders and Gaza's borders and not our own borders? Why are we so concerned with humanitarian aid to these people or those people, and we don't take care of our own people? There's homeless towns within every city.
Right.
People are starting to say why this doesn't make sense, and I think we kind of hit it on the head that the people in our government aren't just citizens of this country.
Right.
Well,
and you saw what they cleaned it up when Xi was coming
right
over.
away.
Right away, no problem.
They didn't care about keeping it clean.
Yeah,
as he left.
Because they don't live there. They don't live in San Francisco. He lives in DC.
That's something I was thinking about because I was thinking about these European countries where shit gets taken care of because they're tiny. They live somewhere where that's one of the problems. The United States is so huge. Like most of Europe will fit in Texas alone, not in the United States, just in Texas. So we're talking about these small areas, which that's why they have to keep their stuff clean. A dog won't shit where it eats, so they have to worry about this stuff. Whereas our number one, all of our servants, they live in DC and anywhere in their state. They cut, so they have two different places. Wherever stuff is rough, they can go, and I'm sure they have summer homes and winter homes and other stuff. But just if you're a basic, generic Poe, senator, you have two residences. You're in DC, and you're in your own state. So wherever it's easier and nicest, that's where you can be. Most people don't have that ability.
No.
It's like not like that train, derails in Ohio. It's like, oh, this place is shit. Well, it's okay. It's okay, Buffy. Let's just go down to our summer home, or our winter home on the coast. No, they're stuck there. They're breathing that. They're drinking that.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of not taking care of people, I mean, when that train derailed and all the chemicals spilled and all that, I mean, those towns are still being affected by that. There wasn't,
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're sending money to Ukraine, and
so, but New York, I mean, this is beyond 1984 stuff.
Yeah.
This is like.
Well, of course, New York does not have guns, No,
and that's one of the main things.
The other thing.
Biggest thing. The biggest thing, man. And I don't know why people can't, but people in New York are getting that. I watched Jim Brewer's comedy special last night. And he's like, man, I was raised in New York, South Jersey. He goes like, I no guns, nobody has guns, hate guns, scared of guns. And I moved to Florida, and I understand. Well, I never thought I would say this, and I never thought I would understand what this means. I feel safer when there's a lot of guns around. It's like people where I come from, they can't wrap their heads around that. Like if I go into a restaurant and I see two people open carrying, then I know 10% of people open carry. So there's 20 people in here with guns. So I know there's no way anyone's walking in here, pulling a gun and robbing this place or going to shoot at me. If they do, they'll shoot one person. There's no way a mass shooting is happening in this restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my friends are like, I don't like open carriers, they blah, blah, blah. And you can't argue the fact that they're a big target from someone that comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
that's true.
But I can do basic math, and I think even a robber can do basic math. Two people are here open carrying, 10%. That means there's 20 more guns in here, and I don't know where they are.
Well, and you also can't argue with basic math if you look at stats of where shootings
Yeah.
typically, happen, places where there aren't guns, like schools and churches and those kind of things, and why those things happen,
Yeah, Jim, and that's not true though. Okay. Yeah, 90% of New York is rural, but that's it is rural. 90% of the population live in one place.
Mm.
So and I know, like I mean, I grew up there, so I know there's a huge difference between people that like the Giants and the Jets and people that like the Bills. Very big difference. Also, thought it was weird that New York is not the capital of New York.
Albany.
Yeah, I always thought it was weird, because
But it's like that in Texas too, it's not the biggest city.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of states are like that.
Yeah. Well, New Jersey's not. Florida, that's another weird one. What is it, Jacksonville?
I think, I don't know. We're studying them this year.
Oklahoma.
I have to start singing my song.
Oklahoma City, Oklahoma?
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. It used to be Guthrie. It was originally Guthrie, and on Highway 33. It's on Highway 33, which is where the headquarters or the largest Masonic lodge is.
Another perfect, yeah, Jim. That is absolutely
Another weird
Tallahassee. That's right. I always think it's
Tallahassee. Thank you, Jim. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, Washington. Yeah, Washington State. But then you look at Oregon. Oregon's the same way. Portland, and then the rest of it. And that's why Oregon's trying to get away from itself. Those counties are trying to secede to Idaho, which they're probably
a lot of people are moving away from there too. I have, I know there's a couple that works out with my daughters. They're at her jiu-jitsu gym, and they left and she has a tattoo business there, and she's like, we literally were afraid to let our children walk to the mailbox because it's so scary there now.
Yeah. I think this thing in New York is beyond insane. I think New York's done. You're finished. It's it. You have to fix your shit or leave. I mean, just leave the country. Go somewhere else. Start the USSR in Canada. I don't know, but and if for those of you there, I mean, call out for help. If you ask for it, if you stand up and you call out, people will hear you. Texas will hear you.
People are stubborn though, because when the Great Infection hit,
we will support you. We will send people there. When we had problems here,
don't want to leave.
Florida sent troops to Texas.
We offered to help a family leave. We were going to help them in every way we could, even have them come stay with us, help them get jobs, let them use one of our cars for a while, like financially help them move, the whole bit. We were like all in with helping, and they were like, no thanks. Well, meanwhile, they're sending us videos showing us like teachers.
You wouldn't want to leave
hitting kids with yardsticks and shoving kids around.
There, we had a very different idea. People up there have a very different idea where you live, where you're fighting off scorpions that can kill you.
I don't have scorpions.
Wild dogs and all types of other things they're trying to kill. It's like people up there think of the South as Australia. Straight up.
That's insane. You should come here and visit.
That's the way it is. When we moved here, we were so scared to come out. When we were building my house, my mom called 4 pest control companies and was like, can you guarantee there won't be any scorpions that'll come kill us or tarantulas that'll kill us? Yeah, but it's not a joke. We thought they would kill us. And the move, all we saw was like Hollywood. And there's a spider crawling up and, tarantula, and you'll die. And I remember my girlfriend in high school was putting her clothes away in the closet, and she
Mhm.
hung it up, and then she went, ah, and she pulled her hand out, and a scorpion bit her. And she stood, and I was like, oh my God, you're going to die. Her parents were gone. I was like, I'll take you to the hospital. And she was like, what? And I was like, you got to get to the hospital quick. Do I suck out the poison? What? And she's like, it's just a scorpion sting. It hurts. And then I was like, you're going to die. I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, I was like, Dawn, you got bit by a scorpion. And she's like, oh my God, she's going to die. Get her to the hospital right away. And then she thought it was hilarious. And then I was like, you don't die from scorpions? No. There's like one kind in like the Middle East that can kill
Yeah,
people.
maybe in the Amazon or something. I don't know.
I was like, what about tarantulas? She's like, no, it's a spider bite. There's like other spiders you can, brown recluse. I had no idea. So but anyway, that's what people think. It's like a huge thing to move. But don't move. Stand up. Fix it.
Yeah.
You're making the rest of the country is gonna go a certain way. And half is gonna go one way, half is gonna go the other. And we're gonna end up that way anyway. Stand up. Stand up to your government.
Jim's right. Counties, that's where like I posted this picture of the sheriff talking, saying no, because the sheriff takes an oath to the Constitution, and he's saying, no, I'm not going to take people's guns. And so the counties can make a decision, the local, because remember that it's about, even the Constitution is about holding back a government that is infringing on your rights. Think about infringing on your individual IP, your intellectual property, your rights, your God-given rights. Your rights come from God, not laws.
Well, that is all nice talk, but New York is a weird place because, like we talked about, when you look at the population and look at the police force and militarization of,
they're quitting like in droves, though. I saw another article. I'm not sure.
There's no way New York State, all the cops and their posses could stand against people coming out from the cities to fix the rubes and fix the hicks. That if you're not in the city, everyone in that city thinks of upstate New York as hicks, rubes. They're all they're hillbillies. So, but you guys got to do something, dude. Ask for help. Ask for help on a level, and you'll get it, man. You'll get it, and that'll be it. I think if Florida said we're sending troops to upstate New York for this unconstitutional law, that would finally get them to back down, finally get them to slow down. They'd be like, that's it. That's the level we can push it to. Go back to 2022. We can do that if we want to. Can't go there. Can't go here. And we'll get another 3 to 5 years of semi-normal life with no money. So we'll get that, or we go ahead and just get it over with and do the do. But as we go, the rest of the country, rest of the world is going to follow. And we're actually looking at other countries now. Well, they do that. Let's try that. No, we're the United States, man. We do what we think is best for the United States, and we've been right for so long, and we've grown and prospered for so long until we get to a certain point. And now there's no difference between us and most countries in Europe. There's not a lot. Lee came here for a visit when I was in the hospital, and he was shocked. It's been 2 years, I think, since he's been here, and he was shocked at the difference. It's just like a different country in a lot of places that he went. All right. So this guy, like I said, he also talks about the law where they're snooping on us, and it's massive overreach. Looking through our social media. Whoops, I lost it again. Here we go. So here, Lisa, show this. I tried to find. I've subscribed to these people because they're amazing. Twitter, but so this is a video. The first part, this woman talks about. She's in Austria, and she said that Austrians are paying about $1,000 too much in groceries now. That their food is, a lot of food has went up 100% in their grocery stores, which is, so they're starting to feel it over in Europe. And it was, and like I said, following the United States, it was still way cheaper for food in the United States. I mean, it was always cheaper food in the United States than in Europe. And once everything started going up, it was actually cheaper in Europe for a lot of food. Even Russia, like the big supermarkets, nice supermarkets, all, same stuff we have here. Well, not the same stuff because of the sanctions, but like, so the Coca-Cola's gone, stuff like that. But all, same kind of food was the same price or cheaper in Russia with sanctions than we were paying in the United States. And now it's hitting Europe. Everything's starting to go up. But if you go to the, what is it? 2 minutes and, that's not it. It's like 1:45. No. Yeah, like 2 minutes and 40. 2 minutes and 40. Yeah, 2 minutes and 40. You play that, which is just past the old EU with the people that are not elected, that the people don't send there.
Okay.
This parliament member has to say.
I just left the room where we had the negotiations about the digital identity, and I have bad news. The member states and the European Parliament came to an agreement. It means that probably not far from now, the digital identity will be effect in the European Union. Right after this agreement, Commissioner Breton said, now we have the digital identity wallet, we have to put something in it. And what he meant was the digital euro, also known as the central bank digital currency. And this is a very bad development. They always promise us not to make this connection. And even a lot of experts, privacy experts and security experts, warned also last week this is a very bad idea for our privacy and our freedom. And still, this digital identity is pushed through. But it's not too late, because we still have to vote on this in the plenary. So what you can do, send your MEP from your member state an email and tell him or tell her that you are against this tool.
Okay, and now you need to see this video.
Yeah.
This is from a supermarket in London.
You're on a business trip.
You can get me up.
Do what?
So the digital passport went through with a digital wallet. So that's all coming to Europe. That's it. And the whole parliament thing is just ridiculous. That, I mean, if people don't vote those people in, then literally people in power can make it, they can pick exactly who they want. Like someone said they want them to quit. The ones that are opposition, so that they can bring in ones.
They're starting in well, was it this month? I think it was this month they started doing the gold backed or whatever. They're supposed to, maybe it's in December. There was an article we talked about where they're going to start doing gold backed digital currency off the LBM, what's it called, the London whatever metals exchange, because they're infringing on Reggie's patents on that. So we've been like, everybody's been talking about it over on Very Official in the Telegram group and all that, and how that would potentially be infringing because it's touching nodes that hit his Japan and US patents in those LBMA. Yes, thank you, JDO. And so all of that. So I don't know how that's going to play out, because it's kind of like the Fed Now thing. If it's backed by gold and silver and it uses Reggie's technology, I mean, as long as they pay him a license fee, maybe it's not such a bad thing as long as it doesn't invade our privacy. That's the only issue. I don't know how that
Well,
happens.
it's going to be a CBDC, and they're going to, if they have the control over the money, a total control, and then definitely be able to track you. They'll be able to stop.
Well, then people can refuse it.
But it's it's like trying to use Bitcoin now. Or it's like trying to use crypto 5 years ago. How are you going to live off crypto 5 years ago? It was impossible. Now there's off ramps and things, but it was like it was like a survival video. I'm going to live off crypto for the next 48 hours. It's not. It was hard to do. If you remove yourself from the system, you can only deal with other people that have removed themselves from the system. And there's only 3 of you, and one of you has chickens, and you're eating eggs. That's it. You have eggs, nothing else. So it's it's bad, but there is a good thing. We've always talked about how the Netherlands, Holland, it's always first. Anything that they're going to try or any kind of momentum in the world, it seems to hit there first. It seems to hit in Holland. They try to hit them with with getting rid of the food and everything, and the farmers fought back. So they've had a huge thing there. They've had this a vote, and it's like a monumental upset, like a Brexit level upset in the Netherlands. A move to massive conservatism, and I love you, and I love Roger Ver. I love Greg, but I think I'm siding with Joe Dragon on the Argentina guy. I think he's paid for.
You think he's a Zionist? I
But-
kind of think that was an AI thing.
Well, I mean, the first thing he did was raise the foreign flag, and Joe made that point. I'm like, oh well, it's caught up in a moment. It's the thing of the zeitgeist of the world. And then what was the other thing he did? He did something else that was
He
crap.
said he was going to use U.S. dollars.
Oh yeah, no, we got to use U.S. dollars. I want to get rid of the central bank. Yay!
Get rid of the central bank.
And I want to put everything on the U.S. dollar. What? Wait a minute. Hey, that sounds like someone told you to do that. And then he said, and what we got to do here in our country that we're struggling. That's why he put me in office. We got to give money to Ukraine. We got to give the money to.
I didn't hear him say that.
That was the first thing. We got to give money to Ukraine. And he's like, he says, government is a disease. We need no government. I'm a libertarian. I believe in total freedom. Got to give money to the wars. That doesn't make sense. But now he is a Catholic man who is, and this is just basic, the truth, he is denying Jesus Christ. And he's going to convert to Judaism. So he's a Catholic that's denying Christ, who wants to send money to Ukraine and wants to send money to Israel. And
it's a lot.
That's a lot, dude. And it was all with his first, week or two in office. So I'm backing off that guy. But on the other side, this massive upset in the Netherlands is shifting the entire political structure of the country. And I think Europe will start to, I think it's going to be terrible. I think we're looking at stuff like which might be what they wanted.
Well, Trump said he's supposed to go down to Argentina to meet with this guy. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of that. And because I think ultimately the plan is that we all stand up for ourselves. And that was one of my big concerns with the election that happened and all that, was that, as much as I respect all the things that, that Trump stands for and American first and all that kind of stuff, I was worried that, if Trump gets in again, and that people wouldn't wake up and they wouldn't know all this stuff that we're now seeing. They're finally it's mainstream media that Pizzagate is real, and they are rolling out the arrests on that. And there are articles showing that Bill Gates had a fund with JP Morgan Chase
I'm
to
with Becca on this.
pay for Epstein Island.
What's gotten so bad though that when is the arrest going to happen to the media? When is the media going to expose what the media did?
So Bitcoin Ben said that when that happens, this is years ago when we used to travel on the road and stuff. He said, when you see the arrests of the media personnel, when the media goes, then you know the war is over.
Yeah, that's because
he said that's the end.
Yeah, I think anything that's coming out is like they're going to try to protect themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we're doing what we're supposed to.
Yeah,
here's that token.
That would be the end when the media get arrested. So I think that'll be interesting.
The I don't know if you know this, it's just someone shall say it. The first two people that were freed by Hamas. Do you know who they are?
Like some little girl that's not really American, and I don't know.
It's like Biden's cousin, and one person that he appointed to the head of like some.
I just heard none of them were American.
No, they're totally connected to the president.
Complete,
100% connected.
It was a complete like slap in America's face.
No, they're totally connected to the president's family, and one of them is like the head of historical something. It's like some kind of BS government job that like has a good paycheck that they were appointed to directly by Biden. So it's I'd like to see if either one of the Clintons goes down, that'd be a big one. Yeah, that's it. One of the people where they bought Hunter's art. Yeah, one of the two people bought Hunter's art for like a ridiculous amount of money.
He's supposed to be testifying.
And yeah, he's only going to testify if it's public. That was odd. That was very odd. I was surprised at that call.
Mm-hmm.
I would think he would want to keep it private, but nope.
Well, that may be part of the deal. He may be being made to do that.
So I think it's amazing what's going to happen. I think you kind of cut me off. I think what's going to happen in Europe is what we're seeing in Florida, in Ireland, because people are so angry. I don't understand how they think it's okay. I mean, this little 5-year-old girl got stabbed, and they're like, by a illegal who was supposed to have been deported 20 years ago, and several times after that, and was arrested with a knife. Like a couple years before that, should have been deported multiple times. He's there, kills the 5-year-old girl, and they're like, "Well, let's not have any kind of thing towards migrants." And it's like the government and everyone keeps coming down on the side of not its people. That everyone is just getting angry. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe that's the plan for depopulation. Maybe they want the boogaloo to happen. Maybe they want us and them fighting because we're all us, and we're stupid enough to think that there's them. And then we do the population thing for them. They can handle the brown people in Africa with Bill Gates has that covered, but they can't go in and start killing people here. We have to do that to ourselves. We have to create that chaos here. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe Europe's going to start burning, and they'll take care of yourself for them. Same thing in the United States. I'm sure that makes sense. It's the only thing that kind of does make sense. But I wanted to end on a positive note with the Netherlands stuff. But I think it's good. I think we're seeing a huge turn when Macron is actually voted out, and maybe, because you were telling me that certain countries made voting machines illegal,
mm-hmm.
and where they're illegal, I think the Netherlands is one of them. They're having like real elections, and the landscape is changing. I think if we had the balls to do that, like, who cares? Who cares if the election was valid? You know, this guy that nobody really likes got more votes than Obama, who everyone loves, and Trump, who people love. Us and them, them likes, loves their guy, and the us's like their guy, and they're just, these people are icons. But this dude that nobody gives a shit about, he gets more votes. Fair. He won. But the American people don't like this voting system. We don't want it. If you ask all of the country, I'm sure over half will say, no, I don't like these digital voting machines. Go back to a different system. Go back to another system. That's it. The people want something different.
I think the system is broken, not just the voting. And that's where, like, when you see things like kind of wrapping back to where we let off with on your channel today with what happened in New York. No matter how you were to give your vote, you're giving away your power to someone else to make rules for you that affect your family, your freedom,
I think that's a slave mentality that you have.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
you're supposed to have is
And that's the part that has
in
to
there to protect your rights. That's who you're supposed to vote for. That's what they're supposed to do. And the idea of like, oh, I don't think you should vote, which if it doesn't work and it's not real, if it's not real, you shouldn't vote because it doesn't matter. But if you can make it to where it does work, then you vote in people to protect your rights and to clean out corruption.
Right.
That's it. The FBI would be great if it wasn't corrupt.
If it wasn't turned against the people.
Yeah. If it wasn't, and if that wasn't, but and people are terrible. They just are. What is it? They're like, if it's under 500 people, no government. No government in groups under 500, they thrive. They, total anarchy, total libertarian. It's perfect. As soon as you go over 500, it changes. The strong prey on the weak, and they get powerful. Mm-hmm. And you do need, and I hate to say it because I really believe in anarchy, but you have to have some kind of government to protect the people. But you gotta watch when you give them power. You have to. That's why the media was so important, because it watched the people in power. And
before Ted Turner.
Yeah, people knew they had the power to take them out. And government should be scared of you. And honestly, every country in the world, if your people don't have guns, government's not scared of you because they have guns. That's just the truth.
Well, that's when my sister went to Finland for, she was married to a guy from Finland. And so when she went there, she said it was just incredible seeing how different it was there, because, there's not a single piece of trash on the ground. There's not, the teachers are so respected there. They're paid very well. It's totally different because it is a very small country. And with that, there's a lot of accountability, because it's like living in a really small town where, like, you're not going to go disrespect somebody in the store because they know your mama. They're going to tell your mama at church on Sunday or whatever, or somebody's going to see you throw something on the ground. Well, we all live in the same community. It'd be like,
that's the word, community. Once
peeing in the family pool or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to get called out.
That was one of the big parts of the gingivitis outbreak, is to break community.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have a clue who most of my neighbors are anymore.
Oh, that's sad.
Which is, remember, can you imagine a block party?
Yeah, we used to have, I talked about this at, I've talked about it a couple times, but Uncle Cliff says that is coming again, that we're, and I think it's in July where he talks, or like around the 4th of July, or I can't remember when. It's been part of his data where it's like, people are on their front driveways and they're cooking. And I don't know if that's because the power's out, because it took me back to in Houston when we would have hurricanes come in, and the power would be out, and crawdads would be up. So the kids are looking for crawdads, and the water's rushing down, the water. So the storm has passed, but there's all this flooding, and the kids are swimming in the ditches, and the parents are trying to cook everything they can. And there's ice cream for everyone because it's going to melt. So everybody's like, it was so much fun for us. We loved it.
I remember growing up, I lived in this high rise, and there was a building party, and it was the coolest thing, man. It was like a really shitty carnival. Like there was little booths where you could try to like throw a ping pong ball on a cup, on a toy. Yeah. I worked so it was free soda. We had it was just fun. It was like
like a school carnival or something.
Yeah, and it was
that's cool.
But it was like every year, and that's the only time like I saw people from the 10th floor, whatever. Because it forced community. We used to work towards making community. Now we work towards not making community. Let's not have trick or treat. Let's have trunk and treat. It's safer. It's all under the guise of safeness. How is it not safer? I went to 20 houses in my own neighborhood.
Right.
Any problem, I know where it was. Whereas I go to where there's anybody. There could be somebody come from Dallas to your little town, pull up in that parking lot, open their trunk, poison the shit out of kids, and go back to the house.
No one would know who they were. Yeah.
Yeah. There's that like you were talking about, that accountability for being in your community and then meeting your own people. It's something we need to get back to. But like I said, I think this thing in Holland is a big deal. I think that the Netherlands is always where things happen first. It was the protest happened there first. A lot of stuff happened there first. I hope, but it's Argentina. So honestly, if this dude doesn't like come through on what he's supposed to, his consequences are going to be worse than they would if he was in the United States or somewhere else.
I want to keep an eye on Trump's visit down there. I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens with all that, because
Holland's not a country.
If
the Netherlands,
if Trump ends up being like going that same direction, because they keep comparing him to, or this guy to Trump, you know what I mean? And if Trump does the same thing, then that could really throw people too. And then people, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe then people will be like, oh, well, we have no one. Yep. Time to stand on your own. Think for yourself. Like, I don't know.
That is a good way to look at it. You have no, because you don't. I mean, that's what real sheriffs do. Real sheriffs will tell you, you need to have a gun in your house because we can't get there for like 5-10 minutes at best. If you live outside of town, where you actually call the sheriff, it's like, dude, you're going to be dead, or he'll be in the middle of raping you by the time we get there. We'll stop it, but damage is going to be done.
Right.
I mean, that's like you have to defend yourself. You have to stand up for yourself. This idea of giving it to someone else so you can be safer, it's just lazy and it's wrong. But yeah, we went super long. We better quit it. It was good hanging out with you guys. I love y'all. Check me and Kips out on our show, which will be on later this week, the Crypto Rednecks. Yeah, that's it. Check out Lisa, all her shows on Friday. We're going to be on. Are we going to be on Thursday on Roblox Roundtable?
Did they move it? Is it Thursday or Friday?
It's Thursday. It was just, I don't know. I think it's Thursday.
Don't throw. Last week they threw it off because of Thanksgiving, so I was like getting a little nervous. Yeah, so we're scheduled for normal time, 10 o'clock Central on Den Social or Dragon Chain. Blockchain to ensure election integrity.
Oh, that's a good one.
That'll be a good one.
It's not a country, it's part of Britain. Yeah.
Unless the solar flare comes, solar storm.
Yeah. All right. You guys take care.
Bye, guys.